Up and running. Let's see where we're at. Let's see if we can stream on the other place too. Start the stream. The stream. Alright. So far, let's see how we're doing. Let me make sure I'm managing the trade instead of trying to set up this damn stream. Well, well, well. We are in some profit there on the NQ. I think what we need to do actually is we need to probably just not go into a loss there. Need to give it a little bit of room, but I'm not going to give it much room. Here we go. Up on the NQ there. This trade, we'll give it a little bit of room, but not much. On the NQ there. 2. Get rid of this.
Stop field.
Of course. 4. And 6. Don't have high confidence in that NQ trade at this point in time. Or the NG trade, sorry. Not the NQ trade. The NQ trade, I have no idea what it's doing. I mean, I know what it's doing, but let's actually divvy up that position. Oh my god.
Order filled.
Seriously? Come on, man. Sorry. Hit a wrong button. It's fine. Up about $3,500. Pissed me off, though. Alright. Let's start that position over. I don't know how that happened. I know how it happened. Alright. It's from doing 2 different things at once. I can't see. It would be almost nice if I just had someone set this stuff up for me instead of me doing it every single day. But it is what it is. I don't know if I could even have someone set this up for me now that I think about it. Alright, so we're up about $3,500 for the day so far. Probably should re-enter that NQ trade up here. So I'll look to get in here. Not going to get too aggressive. The market's still trying to figure out what it wants to do for today. So let it figure out what it wants to do for today. Then I need to move this over here. Put this right here as far as come on. Copy this. Okay, why is it slowing down? Having a little bit of fun with 2 tooth Rex there. I'm calling it It's Possible Monday. Someone DM'd me over the weekend. Had a brief conversation. And said that it just doesn't seem possible. A little bit of volatility there. It would have been like to be into that trade, but we're not. Let's see if we can just do a participate. Oh, man. Let's actually just relax a little bit there and see what's happening. See what's going down. There we go. The NG trade. We're up and running. That, it's hard to see, obviously, what we're in profit there, but we're in profit. All my buy stops were up in the business. Don't know on the NQ. We had a little bit of volatility there, so we're at the RDA on chart 3. Got tons of lines up in this. So let's actually remove our lines. Let's, members, we did the Q&A last night. Waiting for that to upload. And once that uploads, we'll share the Q&A. And then non-members will be sharing some YouTube videos of some of the insights and whatnot. I guess you could call them insights. The knowledge. So far, we're up $3,500 for the day. Probably should have added to the NQ there somewhere. It's not really selling off, so I'm not really so excited of actually getting into the short trade here. In the middle of a range, got our next level, so let's define our levels today. Right around the cumulative delta, so we'll have to figure out, or we'll have to watch that to see whether or not the cumulative delta will switch here. Right now it's long. It's the only other indicator we might be adding to the system, the cumulative delta. But I've got to trade with it for another month or so before I decide that, hey, yeah, this is worthy of having your attention, because it's an oscillator. And I'll share this in Trade Room Alpha. We use it on chart 4.
Stop filled.
Stopped out. Probably the NG trade. Yeah. Trade Room
Order
Alpha.
filled.
What was filled? Got filled on the NQ. Yeah, I think I want to be out of that trade.
Order filled.
It's just way too... The oscillator below is the cum delta. Yeah. Obviously the buy side wants to step up. I don't know, you read all this stuff about all this other... Well, what the I can't read these things anymore. These little takes, fundamental takes on the market. They're just so annoying. I'll share one just to share how useless they are. I guess we go long here. We go long. Pick me up, son.
Order filled.
Got picked up on the NQ. Just doing a participation trade at this point in time. Don't want to get in too aggressive. It might deeply sell off here. So plan to scale in here lower. We're still in a couple lots in the actual... looking at the internals there, we'll put it back on. Did a pre-market idea on the NDX. We'll go here. Look and see what we're at there. Right around 145 negative on that. We'll see what we're doing on NatGas. Dinged our P&L a little bit there. So how's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing great. NQ. Hey, Torsten, good to see you on YouTube. Looks like the buyers are stepping up a little bit. I mean, I don't know. They're being cautious about the whole situation. We'll see. Don't like that. But...
Order filled.
Planning to scale in on chart 2.
Order filled.
Little bastard. Yeah, it's going to sell off, I think. I don't know, I'm going to give it a chance to come back and do the momentum check. Otherwise, yeah, trading a little early here. Because we don't have a directional. We're in the middle of a range. Don't really have a directional decision yet. Little bastard.
Order filled.
We'll see. That pissed me off. Little bastard moved on me. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'm short now. Based on that move. I mean, it might be answered, but based on that move, it seems like, you know, we're in the middle of a range. So if this trade doesn't work out, then I'm just going to take a step back and wait for the best probability, which is down right around 120. So if this trade doesn't work out, dinged my P&L early here. So let me focus up, not do stupid trades, trade the system.
Order filled.
Take some off there just because I'm in profit. Got 2 trailing stops. See if I get knocked out. Just the volatility on this side. I just, it seems like taking profits quickly is kind of key today so far. Not expecting this level to break is really the key. We're in profit. Yeah, I guess we can look at the
Stop
DAX.
filled.
Yeah, screw you, little buyers. Messing around with the daily open. Kind of a sell-off, but it's going to come up and take me out. Yeah, so it's figuring out what it wants to do. Obviously, it's trying to hold the daily open. So trading the extremes as you should be doing anyways. Look at the DAX. Yeah, it's pretty momentum long there. On the DAX. Ah, screw you, dude. Alright. Where we at on Henry? GC, where we at? Only up about 170 on that. Damn it. Ah, I knew I should have stayed in this short. The only thing I can do here is look to maybe enter up in here. Mad about that whole situation of dinging my P&L there. Now it's just a matter of, okay, CL is hitting a level, so the level's a little bit lower. So we kind of want to wait for that level check. Right around 81.75. Right in that area. So we'll look to buy right in that zone on CL. 81.75. Might not get there. Yeah, based on that last move there. It's momentum short, so I'm not going to get too aggressive on that move there. NQ's trying to move up. I think we'd be a little bit less aggressive on that entry. Why would I possibly want to be notified of that? Covered my PF with shorts on the NS. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Really, I guess I should have been picked up on that RDA check there. So let's do an RDA check. Chart 2. Chart 4, we've got a level right around 120, and then our next level is 062. So it's very cautious. Now we are at, it's already been the 9 o'clock pivot. So that sell-off was the 9 o'clock pivot. I'm going to put my stop tight here. I don't care about having a tight stop at this point in time. What I more want to focus on is not losing capital on a trade that I need to scale in a little bit higher. So that's what I'm focusing on. It's not selling off.
Stop filled.
So made a little bit of money there. But if it's not going to sell off, then there's no use. Actually, it looks like it's going to sell off, but trade was momentum there. RDA trade. Another RDA entry right here. But as you can see clearly, it's stalling. Well, maybe not. But in reality, we should be going down to probably 120 at the minimum. So the NQ should be going down to 120. NQ. Yeah. See, it's just not cooperating on the downside. So play the extreme. At this point in time, it's trying to hold the actual RDA on chart 3. So that's what it's trying to do. We look at this here. Wait, did I move the chart? I did. No, this is the DAX. It's this chart. There it is. Lost the daily open. Weekly opens right there as well. Aligns with the daily open. So that's the only thing with this indicator is that obviously on the day that the week opens, it's actually going to open on the same area, obviously.
Order filled.
Did get filled. Let's see if we want to get filled on this thing.
Order filled.
Got out. Quick profit. It's just, once again, it's a fade. I mean, at this point in time, it's continued to move up. So I don't trust the move up until it. Right now, if we look at the charts, chart 3, we do an assessment, and let's do a high-level assessment first. Let's just look at the daily. Still an inside bar. We've got the actual, I didn't even put this momentum check here. That actually is a momentum check. So we've got this zone right here. This obvious area here. 13012, which is the fast momentum. So that might be where it's trying to go today. Recheck that, then go back up, which is right around 13,000. So it might be trying to do that. Yeah, we'll see. Right now, I think there's two. Well, you got a couple levels in between here and there, so there's no reason to get all excited about the trade at this point in time. There's nothing really exciting going down. 7-minute delay here on YouTube. Shouldn't be a 7-minute delay. I don't know. Just waiting. So we got a level right around up here, 185. That's our next trade. Almost should trade up to that based on what I'm seeing here. I kind of got a little bashful because of the previous sell-off that put me on the wrong side of that trade. Not bashful. The market pissed me off. Tell you the truth. To be up front, the market pissed me off. Little bastard. Yeah, about to hit the VWAP. We'll see if it fails there or it exceeds it. All of our other indicators are aligning there too, so really we're still momentum short and bias short right now at this point in time. But the chart's trying to change over, so we're in a changeover mode. Yeah. First reaction there on the VWAP. Little minor reaction. Lines with our RDA, a couple other things. Don't think we're going to get picked up here. I'm not going to get too aggressive. I mean, if it holds this range, then it's probably going to take out probably at a minimum 212 at a minimum. It holds this range. So I want to be long here. I just don't want to get aggressively long because my plan to scale in, I don't want to scale in all the way down to
Order filled.
the next level. So there we go. This right here and then right here. Got picked up on one lot there. This NG trade is kind of annoying too because it's not actually selling off. I want it to rip down. So what we want it to do, but obviously it's not quite yet. At least for an RDA check on chart 2. All right, well, we just got picked up on one NQ trade. So let's show this window. Sorry, not showing the trades. There we go. Here's the window. CL. I'd like to go long on CL, but the best entry was down below. Here's the next best entry. And then we've got another level here that's developed. So our other level is right around 81 spot 84. Actually, we don't. The next level we could probably watch is up here. So I'll look to add there. those are the entries on the actual GC, or not GC, sorry, CL. Let's baby this one lot here, see if we can actually stay in this thing for more than just 250, or what is it, $250? Yeah, we should have entered in more size. Should have entered it more size. I don't know where there's the we. Gold, yeah. So GC we'll look at here. Yeah, I'll look at GC in a second. I was going to do a pre-market on it, but I kind of got a little distracted on stuff.
Stop filled.
Stopped out of the NQ trade. We're back up above 3,000. Probably should have stayed in that trade, but you know.
Stop filled.
Stopped out of the NG trade, at least for one. We got another one here. So we'll see if that trade works out. It's a fade trade. It's at a daily momentum check. So we don't have confirmation that it's going to fail at the momentum check. So I won't go heavy on NG yet, but I'm watching it very closely. We are watching it very closely. Now let's do a GC update. Let's look at GC, which is gold. Black gold, or actually normal gold.
Order filled.
Well, it's pretty obvious there. It's going to sell off. What did we get filled on? We got filled on CL. So there it is. It's selling off. We'll get filled at the next level and then the other level. And that'll be our scale in. So we'll see how that goes. Momentum's not holding on that thing. Little bastard. Well, GC, it's pretty clear that we've got this whole zone here. So I would assume where it's going, it looks like it. So I'll probably trade this as it's going down here to 1990. Let's see if we can get in that trade. Yep. So let's enter now.
Order filled.
Scaling up to here on GC. Scaling up to here. Scaling up to here. It's kind of where we're at on GC. Just so you know. GC is this chart here, the third chart. That's gold. So that's kind of the scale end that we're looking to do. Nothing major right now. We'll kind of see how it plays out. Just a little bit of a scale end plan. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put in a protective stop in case the world goes insane. Very well might happen. It's my protective stop. Thing is, if it runs all the way up there, it's probably going to then do a weekly open test. So that's something to be mindful of. I guess I want to start. I don't want to get too aggressive.
Order filled.
Got picked up on another CL position. Down on that trade. So really where we want to enter righteously is down here. That's our righteous entry. I don't know where that phrase came from. I don't know where the hell that came from at all. Trying to entertain myself. I'm in audio, by the way, on Discord. So if you're new here, you want to join Discord down below. That's where the best stuff happens. If you want to trade the best trade system on the planet, which I'm trading, you can get in touch with me via Discord. Just send a DM, ask how to get started, or visit the website for more information. Links down below. All right, so let's look at this. What are we fitting to do? Bitcoin we'll look at too here in a little bit. But gold is pretty obvious what gold, the kind of trade on gold. It's either it's going to recapture the day open and then the whole dynamic's going to change, or we're going down to that level that I identified, which is down here, which is right here, 1900 to 1982. That whole zone. I mean, in multiple weeks, you got a momentum check. You know, it's just a great area to check. If we look at the 4-day, okay, why the fuck did PowerPoint open? Makes no sense. Look at the 4-day, kind of aligns with the 4-day, although the 4-day puts it a little bit lower, right around 1967. So if the 4-day continues to be a dominant factor there, that's probably something to watch. Let's go back to our trades. Did not get picked up on the Nasdaq trade, did I? No, I did not. So let's get a little bit more. So the 60 is looking pretty good on that thing initially, if it holds. But let's just wait for an RDA check and an overshoot. Let's call bluff if it actually comes down there. That's where we're at. Where are we at on everything else? CL's almost in profit. GC is about $40 in profit for one lot. Probably want to be more than that, but we're not going to get too aggressive on that.
Order filled.
All right, we got picked up on an NQ trade there on that pullback. So now it's just a matter of, okay, how far is it going to pull back? Is it going to do another fake out like it did before? Or it pissed me off. Starting to piss me off initially here because it's not stopping at the bias check, but it's having a reaction. But chart 2 is having a couple overshoots today, but we've got another level on chart 4 on the NQ that we should be watching. Our other level is right around 142, and then we have, you know, a newly created level based on this sell-off here, which is right around here, 190. Well, we're in profit on the CL trade briefly. We'll see if that holds up. I don't have high confidence in that thing right now, but we'll see. Where's everybody else at? Doing good? Hope everybody else is doing good. Look at that. Freaking
Order
NQ,
filled.
little bastard. It's doing the same thing again. Same damn thing. $60 not looking good anymore. Unless it closes good. We've got 3 minutes for it to close, or not 3 minutes. We've got actually a half hour for it to close good. But let's see what the 60 looks like on the actual index. Yeah, it's kind of what you expect, an indecisive inside day, basically. Indecisive. I mean, I guess it did fill that gap almost. So you could say it kind of filled that gap. I mean, it's not really a gap because there is trading there. So, but if you look at it from a gap of wicks, it filled that. I don't care what you want to call it. I'm sure there's some trader out there that has some kind of fancy name of what this is between here and here. Like, I'm sure it's like the triple V, the triple gap, you know, liquidity zone or some stupid phrase like that. But whatever this where you have trading within there, it's not a true gap. One of these is going to move, decide what it wants to do. Yeah, the NQ is going to continue to sell off. That's not good. So momentum shifted, bias shifted on the NQ. You little bastard. Doing it again, man. I don't want to add yet. I want to add down there. Yeah. So. Should have reversed, I guess. Right in that zone. Just waiting for it to hit the key level there. Then I'll add. Little bastards. Ah, CL selling off too. Let's see if it gets down to that level. We're kind of just in the middle of ranges right now. Or we're in the middle of it trying to figure out what it wants to do. Well, look at that. I barely got picked up on anything on the GC trade. I wasn't aggressive enough there. That pisses me off.
Order filled.
Okay. I'm in one lot on GC. Come on, man. One lot. I'm not aggressive there in that entry. All right. Well, let's see if we can get picked back up or picked up in some rechecks. Because we think it's going down to our zone that we think it's going to. Let's cancel all offers. Let's reset them. Is that $1,000? It is $1,000. Little freaking bastard on the NQ. Should have reversed there up there right around 170 instead of sticking with this trade with the level check.
Order filled.
Little bastard. Once again, chart 4 led the way. So if you're using chart 4 as your control, as you should be, you're doing pretty good. Oh shit, I didn't share that. Yeah, we'll get the recording up. It's just going to take a while to the Q&A recording. It's just going to take a while for me to upload it. Or not a while. It needs to render down and then also be uploaded. So
Stop filled.
what were we stopped out of? NG? Okay. CL's trying to maintain a bid there. Then NQ's trying to come up, trying to hold that low. Up about $400 on the GC trade. Up about $80 on 2 lots on CL, and up, not up yet on the NQ yet. It's going to give us an opportunity to get out here, and this is a momentum check. So I don't know if we take it. I don't think we take it. I think we sit on this trade for a second, see what it does. But this is an market's given us an opportunity to get out at a pretty decent clip there. Let's see if it's gonna rip up. Needs to recapture momentum on chart 2. Does that, then we're pretty solid in that trade. I mean, not solid, but meaning that we'll be in profit. But it's obviously stalling there. So the GC trades, you know, where these entries are, these are at momentum checks on gold. So if you're new and you're wondering, well, why are you entering there? Well, these are momentum checks on our 4 chart setup. So, you know, we trade the 4 chart setup. It's a superpower in trading. It really gives you an edge because you take time out as a factor. So it's definitely... see that? NQ gave me an opportunity to get out and I didn't take it. Like a little... Yeah, should have took it. Kind of broke my little rule there. which is when the market gives you an opportunity to get out, you can get out. Yeah, both are selling off.
Order filled.
It's a level check, so we'll see. This level check's either going to work out or it's going to
Order filled.
It's going to be a little painful.
Order filled.
934. So we got the first opening range. We got the opening range has developed, fully developed. Let's look at our chart, see what our opening range looks like. Ugly. This whole trading in here looks ugly. If you weren't trading extremes, it was extremely difficult to make money. It had to be traded in extremes. And a predictive trade system. Good morning. Yo, yo, yo. Let's see how that goes.
Order filled.
What did we get picked up on? Probably a GC trade. Absolutely. Got picked up on a GC pullback. So we'll see. Give that a little bit of room. So we got picked up on that GC pullback. We're about to hit profit on the NQ. It's going to give us another opportunity to get out. The question is, do we take it or do we ride with it? Ah, come on. We roll with Tupac? Ride or die? Or do we not stay in? That's the question. Doge is up 5%. Holy crap. We're in the money, man. Doge up 5%. We're balling. I'm still at a loss of losing Dr. Michael Heisner. For those that don't know, he's kind of been instrumental in some of my religious studies. That's all I'll say about that. But he recently passed away through pancreatic cancer.
Order filled.
What did we get picked up on? Yep.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
We'll see. One of these is going to move in our favor. I don't know which one yet. I don't like the way that CL trade is actually working out so far, but we'll see. Both of these look like they're going to rip up.
Order filled.
So that's kind of interesting. Just trading the levels. That's all I'm doing. I'm trading chart 4 levels. But this NQ trade is kind of a fade. Well, it is a fade. I don't know what kind of a fade. Ah, little bastard. Our next level is down here. Ah, it's going to make me wish I reversed. So our next level is down here. Yep, should have reversed. Should have reversed it. Yeah, wasn't watching. I was starting my music. Should have been watching.
Order filled.
GC is up. Okay. That's sold off. Continue to sell off. I think these are invalid. These entries. Or let's put in some trailing stops on our 2 lots on GC. We're up about $1,000 on that thing. Well, of course, we're down about, I don't know, $5,000 or so on the NQ trade. See how this works out. Yeah, should have actually reversed that.
Order filled.
Waiting for that level to hit, the 120 level. I called it a long time ago. So, you know, CL, we're scale in. So those wondering, I am sticking with trades a little bit longer. So, you know, yeah, there might be a rollover on C4, but we'll see. I'm waiting for this level at 120 to figure out what it wants to do. So that's really what I'm waiting for on C4 on the NQ. But, you know, you should have been short up there. I should have reversed probably up there. Once again, I was fading like an idiot. So
Order filled.
we'll see what happens at this OR low. Yeah. Yes. I planned to scale in down to 120. Hopefully yesterday in the Q&A I answered like how I trade that actually like illuminates some of the things I do. You know, what I basically
Order
shared
filled.
is I plan to scale in. My trading style is
Order filled.
I plan to scale in and trade myself out of trades. That's how I trade. At all, I don't like the way that some of this is aligning because I think I'm
Order
on the wrong
filled.
side, and I'm either going to have to reverse quickly or kind of, because we've lost 2 levels here and the reactions did not play out the way that we want it to.
Order filled.
So we're doing an overshoot now at this level here. The challenge is the next level is way down here. That's way past the scale in. So we might have to just take a little bit of bath on these positions. Yeah. I didn't switch. I should have switched at 152. Yeah. Being a little bit stubborn on that position there. Yeah. I should have got out when I got an opportunity to get out. That's what I should have done on that first move up there.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Ah, you're going to make me reverse. Almost added 30 there. Almost added 30. I thought one of these was going to actually move in my direction, the CL or the actual NQ, and neither one of them did. So what I'll do on the CL trade here is we'll put in trailing stops on that thing. Either get taken out here at a loss, or it's going to just rip up. But round and round, round we go. Look at that. Every momentum check's holding. You little bastards. To get wrecked. Subject to next. Holds a check. Try to learn naturally. Girl keeps paging me. Okay. The market's about to piss me off because I misread it. That level holds at 120, then we'll see how that goes. In a jiffy. Let's see what comments are going down. Yeah, good morning. Nephew Elite's up in the spot. You tell you about my everyday fix. I ain't rich. 50's a dime and a nickel. I'm shocked G. Yeah. So far 120's held. So now it's just a question of, is 120 gonna hold? And then do I just get out here at this range, not risk it anymore?
Order
That's the
filled.
question I'm really wondering. Or do we hold it for it to get back in? Now look at that. Our GC trade, our CL trade is basically in profit now. Jeez.
Stop filled.
Oh, it stopped out. Oh, GC. So we took some GC profit.
Stop filled.
Totally out of the GC trade. We'll re-enter up here at the RDA on chart Deuce, chart 2. I guess I could have got out of CL there. Gave me an opportunity to get out. Or to actually a profit. Look at that. We're back in profit. I will get out probably at the RDA if it doesn't break the RDA on chart 2. So if it doesn't break the RDA here, I'll probably get out. But it looks like it's going to break the RDA. So we'll stick with it for a little bit. Nah, we'll get out.
Order filled.
Too exposed over the market overall. All right, there we go. Well, we're kind of in profit on the NQ, maybe. Got out of that
Order
trade.
filled.
Not bad. That, son, is how you don't panic, trade yourself out of a trade when you should have been reversing and trading the friggin' system. Son, back in 2023, I was trading the NQ and a trade went against me. Not bad. Up 6,100 for the day. Traded myself out of, well, I wouldn't consider them too bad trades, but had to be a little patient, properly scale in, properly trade myself out of trades. Once again, I'm sharing what I shared on the members Q&A. I always have a plan. My plan is to trade myself out of any trade. Now, how do I have that plan? This is why, once again, I don't do a good enough job of like just highlighting how awesome the system is, because you see me trading oftentimes. And, I'm not trading the system as it's designed because I have enough capital. I have enough powder to trade. Oh, man, freaking A. I look at that CL trade and I'm like, dude, why did I get out? But I know why I got out. Well, the trade actually on the table is not long. Jackass. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Trade is short. That's the trade on the table. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That's the trade on the table. Okay. That's the trade we're going to go with. We're going to go with the momentum trade on chart 4. We're not going to trade not against the system. Talking to myself so that I don't trade against the system. So we highlight how awesome the system is, as opposed to me showing that. So like I said on the Q&A, look, I have a plan. My plan is to trade myself out of any trade. Now, how do I execute that plan? Well, basically, unfortunately, I still fade from time to time. The other thing is that what I do is I have enough dry capital at any given time to always trade myself out of a trade on 99% of the market moves that we see. That doesn't mean that someday I'm not just going to have a really bad day by doing it that way. But that's also why I'm focusing on not trading the way that I've been trading, which is like, okay, I can do that. I can remain calm. I can trade it, no problem, scale in properly, read the charts properly. I can do that. But at some point in time, one of these days, it's just going to hurt me really bad. So, I've strayed too far from the system. Need to trade the system. The system is saying that we're momentum short and we need to be short. And really right here is where we actually should be thinking about going short, because it's doing an RDA check on chart 2. Chart 4 is at a fast momentum check.
Order
So
filled.
we will do a entry there. Then we'll do an entry up here. And then we'll do additional entries up here. So that's where we'll enter on the NQ. The GC trade, waiting for a momentum check again on that. We'll enter up here. On the GC trade, we did make about a G on that. The CL trade, the NG trade might be back up in our box. So we might be looking at the NG trade. P&L check. 60,183 so far. A little rough. Should be a little bit more than that. Sweet. Someone got the sniper book. Great. I'm writing a book on mindset. It'll be the definitive book on mindset. It'll be the last book you have to read on mindset. I know that sounds awfully arrogant, but I know, actually, I'm convinced at this point in time. I clearly know I've seen enough traders. I know enough traders. I've read enough books. I've watched enough YouTube videos. I've watched enough interviews. Not only that, that doesn't mean jack. YouTube's not real. Twitter's not real. Okay. I know enough real life traders. I've ran this group since 2018. I've seen enough. I clearly know the answer to whether or not someone's going to be successful at trading or not. And it's at any given point. I'm not saying that in the future you can't change, but I can ask a series of questions from someone and I will probably within a 99% accuracy predict whether or not they'll be successful with trading. And it has nothing to do with the system. The system helps tremendously, trust me. Because when you have a system like ours that we trade, and you see time and time again that it just works, well, then you stop arguing with it and you say, okay, how do I take advantage of it? That's what you start doing. So that's the difference. Now, but the questions that I would ask will be in the book. Members will get it for free. I'm going to probably sell it for like $500. I know his trading books are really expensive. So I'm just going to it's going to be like 30 pages long. So because it's going to be the definitive answer. It's going to be, here's what to do. There's no other path. This is the only path. I'm convinced that there's only one path for people to be successful traders. People watch, each path is unique. But as far as so the way to look at it is that there's a path going through the woods. Each trader walks that path alone. But the path is the same, meaning that they walk that path, but then what they see on that path is individualistic. So they might imagine goblins. They might imagine trolls. They might imagine, dragons. Another one might imagine, harpies, another might have 4 different ex-wives. So, down that path, you're going to be meeting all 4 of your ex-wives. So each trader has their own experience, but they're walking the same path. So since they're walking the same path, we can identify how a trader will get through maybe at the first checkpoint of that path. One trader sees a dragon, and then another trader sees 3 of his 4 ex-wives. Not the 4th one, because that's the one he really likes. That's the one that's going to work out. I met someone recently. This is funny. I find it funny. Let's make sure we're still in trades, or we're managing our trades. Okay, NQCL. Don't want to enter anything. GC sold off, so we might want to enter GC at this point. So let's see. Yeah, GC sold off, so we're going to enter a position on GC.
Order filled.
And then we're going to enter another position here, or not enter, put another entry there on GC. We'll see if we get picked up. See if it's going to actually sell off or actually come up and pick us up on the RDA. Yeah. See, as soon as I entered, what did it do? It said, you know what, man?
Stop filled.
Stopped out of our NQ trade. We're still short. We're looking for a short up above, kind of like that level right there. You can see it on the chart. That's where we're straddling our orders. So don't want to trade up to that. Don't have confidence on that yet. So I met someone recently, and he shared, it's from a small town in Wisconsin, and his parents got married and divorced twice. And then, they did a really crappy thing. They blamed him. Well, his dad, or his mom, one of them, blamed him for why they got divorced the first time. Which is if you just knew his full story. Yeah, the 4th wife works out. Yeah, right. So, but I've never met any, well, I think maybe I met someone once that actually married, they divorced and then they got married again and then they got divorced again. And I think they're married again. I think it's 3 times, which, hey, make up your mind. or mix it up, you know, like mix it up with other people. Like, that guy has an amazing story too. Like, I'm not sharing anything that like would, but he was born with half a heart. Like, literally, was told he wasn't going to survive till 20, and he's still kicking. Told that he shouldn't play football. He played football. You know, was just told throughout his life. I mean, he's had many surgeries, you know, because of his condition. And, you know, I have a different view on inspiration because of obviously what I've gone through. People tell me, oh, you know, it's, I don't know. Just like I said, like, if you don't know, if you're new here, you know, I've got terminal cancer.
Order filled.
We're working on, you know, hopefully it's not terminal. My wife had pancreatic cancer in the last year and a half, major surgery. I've had major surgery in addition to all the other life things that goes on. Well, people have told me, oh, you know, it's an
Order
inspiration
filled.
how you guys handle it. I'm like, okay. Like, what other choice do we have? Like, I'm not trying to be inspired here. Like, I'm, you know, we're not promised anything in life. I get up every day and I try to make the most out of what, you know, what is given to us. So, like, there's no other way to do it. Like, I could sit around and be woe is me, right? But to me, it's like, no, let's get up every day and let's make the most out of it. Not guaranteed anything in life. All right, so now we're short on the NQ and we're short on GC.
Order filled.
That one's MGC's picking us up a little bit more. So obviously it found a bottom. We probably should get out of GC based on what that pattern is, because we can probably get filled above.
Order filled.
So let's look at that chart. Yeah. So based on that 5-minute pattern, I think we're going to get less aggressive with GC. It might try to test 2000. The best trade is right around 2007. So that's kind of where we want to be on the GC trade. That's the RDA. Well, it's not the RDA. The RDA is right here. On chart 2, the RDA is right here. And then way up here is a kind of a key level, key support and resistance level. Reverse level. And then we've got a strong level here. That's the other reason why I got out of that trade. If you're wondering why I got out of the GC trade, the gold trade, well, I got out because the strong level was created on chart 4 at 1996, spot 2, 1996. So, you know, if that level plays out, where is it going? It's going to the next level, which is maybe around 2007. So we got our initial entries at 2000, and then 2007 is where our next entries are. So, you know, might as well just take 200 off the table, because it didn't sell off on the momentum check, plus bias and plus momentum switched on chart. I'll just send this in Trade Room Alpha so everybody can see what I'm talking about. So plus momentum switched on chart 2. Trade Room Alpha, yo. You know what? I'll share this in the group or in the futures trading. I'll share the full chart setup on futures trading. Okay, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll attempt it. NQ's selling off. We're in 2 lots there. We'll put our trailing stop in just to make sure that we don't take a loss on that trade. Once again, trading the system. God, it feels so great actually trading the system. System predicted there was going to be a sell-off there. It was a chart 4 momentum check and bias check. System predicted it. I'll just share this. The system predicted it. And we're in a trade. Trading the system. Strangely, when we trade the system, it freaking works out awesome. Oddly. It's chart 4, momentum check, bias check, held up. like I said, strangely, when you trade the system, it just works pretty awesome. You trade against the system, what happens? It's not pretty awesome. It's unawesome. Now I think the fourth wife works out, you know? 3 strikes and you're out. Well, you get an extra at bat. That has a likelihood of working out. You at least get 2 more strikes, right? You're on to the next at bat. So, first 3 didn't work out. Well, you're struck out, but you're back at bat again. You're starting over. You still got 2 more strikes to go. So, Morning, Jane Wick. I still haven't seen John Wick yet. The new one. I think I can stream it. So we'll get out of, or this 3 lots is no longer valid. I mean, it might come up and take us out. But if momentum, holds, it's cautiously selling off. So, it's not committing to the sell-off.
Stop filled.
Stopped out. Going to be stopped out again. So that alpha candle was
Stop
answered
filled.
right away. So where's the next trade? Well, the next trade's in the same area. But based on, the buyer's appetite. Oh, yeah, I was going to read one of the emails that I had. I just can't read this crap anymore. It's just so, look, we don't follow fundamentals. We don't need to follow fundamentals. We trade charts. We don't need to read this crap. So, for instance, like, I'm not going to call out, or not really call out. So I subscribe to various things, right? So one of them is actually, just Simply Wall Street, for instance, is one that I subscribe to. But I can't read this crap because it's so stupid. Like, maybe people believe this crap and maybe people can have edges on this crap. But like, to me, it's just a big waste of time. Like, especially when the signals are so clear, just trading the chart. So I just give it, for instance, one of the things that you hear people talk about is this thing called equity risk premium, right? The S&P equity risk premium. What is the ERP? The ERP for a stock or index is the earnings yield minus the risk-free rate. What's the earning yield, you ask? It's the opposite of the PE ratio, i.e. earnings to price, rather than price to earnings. Picture the quoted rental yield on an investment property. Okay, you've already lost me. I mean, I get it all. I understand it because I've been in real estate. I understand all this. Plus, I've been in trading. I get all this. But okay. All right, now give me clarity, right? Give me clarity. That's all I want. Like, give me some clarity. How do I use this ERP thing, right? And then it goes through, like I said, I could go through this, every now and then, like I said, I go back and, or I read these things because I subscribe to them and they go to my, my promotion channel. And I go through, I wonder what the sentiment of the market is. Every time that I read these things, I'm like, I'm glad now I know why I don't read these things, because they provide zero edge. You're wasting a lot of time. Like, I'm not trying to rail against this specific one. I'm just saying that, like, for instance, in this same email, they go, gold is back above 2,000. It crossed 2,000. And then they say something in here that just like, I just rolled my eyes at, which is, what did they say? They said, where did they say? They said something about technical analysis.
Order filled.
All right, well, let's see where we got filled up. Where we got filled on the GC short. All right. So we got picked up on the gold short. It's
Order
really
filled.
moving. So now the question is it going to fail at that momentum check? We'll look at chart. We'll look at the 4-chart setup. 4-chart setup tells us, I mean, that's, it's pretty strong on chart 4. Also, if it's going to go and test the previous open of the 60, it's up in this range here. So what we're going to do is we're not going to give it much room. What we're going to do, this is an RDA check on chart 2. So on this trade, what we're going to do is we're going to put this at the extreme band. So our stop losses are chart 2, and I'll share this in Trade Room Alpha so that y'all see what I'm doing. Trade Room Alpha. So as you can see there, we've got a chart. We've got a chart 2 check, which you can see that the chart 2 numbers are a little bit different than our typical numbers as far as the value. So that's the value we're using for GC. So you'll see that what I'm doing on this trade is, because we do kind of have an aggressive or a decent alpha candle on chart 4. I'll share the full chart. I'll share the full 3 charts so that y'all can see. Sorry. So remember, I'm trading the 4-chart setup, but you're seeing one of the charts on the stream. So, from left to right, it's chart 3, chart 4, and then chart 2. So I know that might be confusing for some. It shouldn't be, but so what I want you to see, or what, my decision process here on the GC trade is, okay, well, we have 2 things in our favor. We have a fast momentum check on chart 4. We also have the RDA check on chart 2. But if we correlate that to the 5-minute, let's just go to the 5-minute. Well, the 5-minute had that last bar recaptured the momentum. So that's not in our favor. And then the next thing is that we've got the opening range low of 2003, which is a target. And then we've got the other momentum check up here, right around 2004. So the other thing is that if you look at the chart 3, we see that we do have a level developed there, right around 1997. Right, and that coincides with the chart 4 level. So this comes down to projection. If you project out, we've got quite a bit. We've got 48 minutes left in this 1-hour candle. So if you project out this candle here, the move on the 60-minute might be going to test the previous open. You got to be open to that. So that's why I tighten up my stops there. That's why I put, we entered at the perfect area. So perfect entry as far as the system. Perfect entry. Now it's just a matter of, okay, the messiness of the market. Is the market going to go up to the next zone, or is it going to fail here? So we're giving it a little bit of room by putting our stops right at the extreme band of the RDA on chart 2. So we're giving it room. Is all this clear? Just like a gut check from members. It's all that clear. I'll do it in general for those that maybe are listening. All that clear. One of the things I'm working to do is, once again, reinforcing the fundamentals. And then, I heard a couple things from people on the Q&A that, not always sure what you're doing and why. So there you can see we got stopped out. And we were probably right to be stopped out because it looks like it's going to continue. Now, we could have reversed because of our assessment. So that's an advanced strategy there. We could have reversed, but, might as well just get out of the trade. So here's what upset me about this. Not upset me. So like they say, so they go through gold, right? And if in Discord, if you want me to share this full email, I'll share the full email. But it's just like, to me, this is like, I'm sharing this because, look, I know you read these things and you read these things for sentiments. Like, I literally, you don't need these things. Like, I know I'm not trying to convince you. The system already gives you this information. You don't need this crap. But what pisses me off, and when they say something like this, for an asset like gold that can't be valued like a stock or a bond, technical levels are as important as anything else. And then they put in parentheses, cue Buffett rolling his eyes. I don't care if Buffett rolls his eyes. He's not trading my account. So I don't care if that dude rolls his eyes or not. Or he hangs out in the spa room with friggin' Munger. Isn't that the other dude that he's with? I don't care what they do. And then they say, those inclined to believe in technical analysis, and then they put in parentheses, not us, would say that if gold prices can hold higher than past, in air quotes, resistance levels at 270, then it's likely to stabilize and continue testing all-time highs. However, if there's a slight hiccup at these levels, investors will likely take profits on their holdings and the price will begin to fall. But that depends on if you believe that in that stuff or not. Well, okay. I trade it every single day, so I don't need to believe it. Like it plays out every single day. But, if you want to get into the technical analysis, or not the fundamental analysis, and believe in the witchcraft that is, then I'm all for it. It does make you feel smarter. You're right, AZJ. Hey, X Skills, great to see you. I mean, I'm not, actually I am railing against it. Because what? I want you to be a successful trader. I don't want you to mess around with crap you don't need to mess around with. My pre-market literally was 10 minutes. Literally was 10 minutes. And I shared my NQ pre-market. I want to share all 4 tickers, but look, I just have limited time. Plus, I was talking to someone that was asking some good questions about kind of the trading and the system and everything else, and is considering becoming a member. So, I was in between conversations with someone that was actually, for those that wonder, and I share this in a post that's going to be released this week. I don't want you to join without questions. I want you to be skeptical. That's why we don't have testimonials and stuff. I'm not going to put anything on the site that actually makes you feel better about buying the system. I know that sounds completely contrary. Don't you want people? Of course, but I want the right people. I don't want people that are feeling warm and fuzzy when they join. I want you to still have doubts when you actually sign up. Because you need to. I don't want people that are just going to believe everything I say and blindly just execute. Because you will not be successful in adopting and making the system your own. So I don't want people like that. So you'll never see testimonials on the site. Because the people that need to see testimonials, well, number one, if you're looking for testimonials, that has no bearing on whether or not you're going to be successful with the system. Zero bearing. So I'll never have them. I'm sure there'll be people that will, sing the praises of the system. And, I've seen it on Discord. I've seen people, there's one individual, for instance, that traveled out to California, is really kind of shared kind of their feedback and them adopting the system based on trying other systems for years. Look, but I don't want anybody to join. I want you to be still skeptical when you join, because you need to keep that skepticalness even as you adopt the system. You need a healthy level of skepticism. So I don't want you feeling all, like I say, warm and fuzzy and all, of course, on some level, I want in your gut that you feel that there's something here, there's something special. That's what I want. But other than being completely non-skeptical, no. If someone's non-skeptical and they're just ready to go, I'm actually more concerned than if they're asking me questions. But then there are questions that are just plain asinine, okay? But if you have a conversation with me, just like on the stream, I'm looking for the next trade too while we're talking, or while I'm talking. I think I think there might be a trade possibly on CL, but it's a fade trade and it's not really a level check. That's what I'm a little concerned about here. So actually, I don't think it's a trade. I think I just want to trade it. So let's not go with I want to trade, but let's go with where I should trade, right? Let's look at our levels on chart 4 on GC or on, CL. Instead of going with, hey, I really want to do a trade, let's actually find out what the chart tells us and what the system tells us. That's how we do it. There we go. All right, there's our next trade, which we're right at. So I was right. Damn, it feels good to be right. I don't know if I'm right yet.
Order
We'll
filled.
start a position here, and then we'll scale in a little bit. Look at that. It went against me as soon as I entered. So we'll plan to scale in down below. We'll give it a little bit of room. So Brian A says, I was skeptical. This is on YouTube. I was skeptical, but very quickly realized how incredibly powerful the system. Can I read that? I guess I should be able to read it. The system is, and immediately realized that any money lost using the system is due to my execution or lack of personal adoption. Yeah. I mean, of course, the system doesn't work 100% of the time, but as you know, what I shared with someone I was having a conversation with today is that the person's got a fair amount of experience in trading in different markets. Sorry, I was watching this trade to make sure. NQ, I don't really want to get in anywhere.
Order filled.
And then the CL trade, we're at a level, but it's kind of at a cliff too. So that's why I'm also a little leery of that position or that area, because the next key level is down here, which it fits our scale in, barely our scale in ratio. So for those that were on the stream yesterday, we shared the magic scale in number. And then there will be further guidance on that because it's backed up by data from 2018 forward trading. And then I always kind of knew in my gut, but now we've got the actual historical data. So need to really scale in down to 80 spot 22 on this CL trade to properly trade it. So we'll do that. That's our next level. Yeah, so this person was asking, or has a fair amount of experience, and what I shared is I said, look, one of the things I shared is it's going to take you about a month it takes you about probably 2 weeks, someone really experienced, to go through the training and get it at a high level. What you're going to do, what I find, one of the challenges with people with experience is that what they do is they half go through the system. And then they ask me a bunch of questions, they go through it like in a week and a half, and then they go and work on executing it in the market, and then they only know maybe 60 to 70% of the system because they said, I don't need to go through the pattern library. I don't need to do this, right? So then they start asking me questions, and I'm like, hey, that's in the training. That's in the training. And I know I get it because I'm the same way. I want to learn something new and immediately execute it. Well, you need about a good month to go through the training, where if you're experienced, you'll get through it in 2 weeks if you're dedicated and focused. And then you need about 2 weeks of actually watching the system after you understand it at a high level. Of what you need 2 weeks of the system basically hitting you over the head that it just works. Now, you're going to probably try to trade, and you're going to probably have some of your old habits from other systems or other trading that you're going to have to get rid of. So that's kind of what happens with people with experience, is that you kind of have a little bit of arrogance. I'm the same way. If I were to buy a new system now, not that I need to, but if I did, I'd have a little arrogance that, hey, I know how to trade. I know how this works. So I might not go through it as diligently as I typically would with just something brand new. But I would say this is almost true for 90% of the people that actually have experience. you've tried or you are trying to trade a system now that is either confusing, complex, doesn't work all the time, you can't properly back test, you can't properly do replay mode and trade it, and it doesn't provide you at least 6 to 10 really high quality trades a day reliably on any ticker. So you're kind of, when you start a new system, you're bringing all that baggage with you. And what needs to happen is that you need to have kind of a realization. I can't do it for you. No one can do it for you. You need to have this what you need to see is you need to see the system work time and time again. And then for you to just say, okay, I give in to the system. Because one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to trade against the system, and then you're going to continuously see the system kind of like predicts and works the way you expect. And then you're not going to be so hard-headed, and you're going to start trading with the system. Or you're just going to keep fighting with the system until one day you fight it so much that eventually the system will just win. So I guess the other thing is that you give up, but you have no reason to give up, because I'll share why you have no reason to give up. Let's say you're feeling down or you're feeling deflated. We show up every single day. So maybe when we're on vacation or anything else, we're not showing up as much, but we show up every single day. And I know members can attest, because I've done it the last week or so, to saying, hey, dude, I see where your challenge is at. Let's have a conversation either in Delta or Alpha or in DMs, and let's say, okay, you have one or two problems. What are those one or two problems? So this group is kind of unlike many other groups you've probably seen out there, mainly because of, okay, now the NQ. We kind of missed that NQ trade, but it's kind of just stair-stepping up. So the long side would have been a good trade, but we're still momentum short there. So almost, it might be going through a VWAP test or an RDA test, but this is just an ugly range. So we missed the best short, obviously. So now the best long that exists is right here. This is the best long. That's the best long trade. I know it's way down there, but that's the best long trade that exists. So we'll see if we get picked up on that. CL is, once again, we're fading the CL move for a longer move. We probably should be trading momentum with that thing. But we're scaling in with a level check. Now, obviously, we're not scaling in correctly, or not correctly, but we're kind of far away, actually, from that. Actually, we're too far away, because that doesn't even show up here. Well, it should. I don't know why this line doesn't show up. Yeah. So we'll go a little bit higher in size and CL once it gets down there. No, I haven't. So Lance Bailey asks, have you considered charging monthly fee for the training? I have. I have an aversion against subscriptions. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. I hate that the world is going towards subscriptions. I absolutely hate it. I despise it. So, in the future, there might be, because of costs, an ongoing cost. I'm just warning you ahead of time, because there's certain costs that we're working on, some things I just will not eat, because I might use it, but the second other people start using it, it increases the cost. So I've always tried to focus on just having one set fee, and then you get everything. But when we start involving APIs, and we start involving data, and we start involving other stuff that people will happily pay for, then there will be some kind of subscription element, possibly. I'm just sharing. We're real in early stages. Nothing's announced yet. I always try to default to what I promise, which is basically, hey, you get everything I add in trading. But one or two things are going to happen. Is that we'll create a tool for us to use, and then it's going to be a cost. And then we'll either not release the tool because it breaks our promise of like doing a subscription, or we'll give the opportunity for people to actually subscribe for, a cost, and then obviously for a little bit of overhead of the tool. So that's how that will work if we even move in that direction. But so I have a super aversion to, I don't want to be part of the problem. Part of the problem is every business, even the funeral homes. You know what? So I have someone that, for those that, damn it, this friggin' NQ trade's pissing me off. Because it's not going in our favor, and we probably should be short on it. So,
Order filled.
I have a friend that has an idea for a product in the funeral business. So we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and I said, that seems like a pretty good idea. I think there's an opportunity there. So I've been doing market research in the funeral business, and, funeral homes and stuff like that. And you will not believe how upset these people are at not having a subscription. That they're on a mission. They're mad that actually you buy a plot and then you can show up for the rest of your life, and that that the lifetime value of you is only what you pay in a one-time fee. Like, so if you go to these morticians or these funeral home message boards and stuff, and you get deep into the market, they're actively trying to figure out how they monetize, grandma and grandpa in the grave. One of the ideas is that they want to move in kind of a digital realm, so that basically when you bury someone, you get this kind of digital remembrance. And then as long as you pay the fee, that digital remembrance, that QR code, it won't be QR codes, but that technology still works. So you show up with your phone or your device, or when we have devices in our heads, you show up and then it says, hey, you want to see videos of grandpa and grandma? Now that's their idea of like, okay, we need to have a subscription model, because having a one-time fee, yeah, I'm with you there on the NQ selling down. That's why I'm short. I am short in the NQ at least by 1. And then I'm looking to probably try to scale in right around the chart 2. And then we're looking to scale into the CL trade which is a level check. So I probably should not get less aggressive with that level check and be down here. So that's where we're out on we're down to 80 spot 79 on that trade. Almost probably is at the point where maybe I might want to consider reversing there, but it might come up and give us an opportunity to get out there. NQ, we're short. We have a GC opportunity, so I think we need to trade the GC at this level too.
Order filled. Order
So
filled.
we're trading the GC, short on the GC, momentum check.
Order filled.
I'll answer your question, CP stock, on the trade. So there's a trade in Discord. Because you're freaking dead? Yeah, exactly. But I'm just telling you, so the product that we have is kind of a technology quasi-product idea. I'm doing market research with them to see whether or not, we want to move forward and do a proof of concept, and then go out and sell it. So we'll create a product, do a proof of concept, and then we'll go and sell it to a couple local funeral homes or something, just to prove the market. But in my research, I can't believe, like, I was just floored that they're upset. I mean, it makes sense. They're upset that they have a one-time cost, or that they only make the lifetime value of a customer is their one entry, or their one point in time. They have one lifetime value. So they want to increase the lifetime value of a customer. And the way to do that is to add subscription models where basically you're saying, hey, you got to pay $50 a year if you want this technology connected to your tombstone. And then, you don't pay. Well, you're the jerk that didn't pay. And then when people visit, they'll get a notification that, it doesn't work because the subscription hasn't been filled. So it's just going to make you look like a jerk. Like they're like actively trying to implement some type of strategy like this. All right, we're down too much on the CL trade. Once again, that trade is a little annoying. Should have probably reversed that. But we're waiting for the level at the lower. I don't even know why the levels aren't showing up on this chart. Why are they not showing up in chart on my 5-minute chart here? They're drawn. So that's my long tirade about why I don't charge a monthly fee for training. The other thing is I charge a fee because I don't believe in free, and I want a financial commitment from you so you'll take it seriously. And to me, $1,000 is the lowest and highest amount that is still serious, that you're going to take it seriously. I don't care even if you have, I know there's people that could afford much more. I know there's people that have joined the system that could afford, 50 times that. Whether or not they'd pay that is the other aspect, but
order filled.
That's not my why. I don't care about that. I care that there's a financial commitment that is meaningful in my mind. All right, we got picked up on the CL trade. We're at the level now.
Order filled.
And then we're short on the NQ trade on 2 lots. We're a little bit down more than we'd want to be on the CL trade, but, it is what it is. The GC trade, we're on 2 lots. We're up about $110. So CP stock has a question. Let me make sure. Let's go around the charts. All right. So I think on the NQ trade, almost we could go heavy. Almost here we could go heavy. It's almost time to go heavy on this bad boy.
Order filled.
Down to 060.
Order filled.
Almost. I think we almost go heavy on that thing. So I think that's where it wants to go. 060. A little early in this trade, so we might have to do is take a risk up to the RDA on chart 2, which is up here. So we already have our position established for 3 lots. And then CL trade is not working in our favor. Part of it is my lines aren't showing up.
Order filled.
All right. So CP stock acts on Discord. I do have one question. Maybe others had it in the QA session. How do a member come out of a negative trades as you did earlier in Q? Should they have not taken the trade? Yeah. So the answer is, I'll answer that distinctly. And this is the problem with watching me trade, is that my trading style is sometimes contrary to the system because of my capital level and because the way I've adopted to trade it. Whoa, see, I told you we should have went heavy on this thing. Damn it, Jim. We didn't go heavy enough. There we go. NQ starting to sell off, probably. Let's see. We can stay with that. I'm a little upset about the whole CL situation, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you fade the market, especially at a point where you don't have confirmation. So that's a prime example right now. Is the CL trade that I'm in, this actually is a fade trade, and I wouldn't want any members to trade this trade because this is what I need to stop doing. Yeah, I'd like to do the Rockwell trading session, so I'll answer that question smack here in a second. I'll answer that. Thanks for asking. So what I'm sharing, or what I'm saying, is that this is an aggressive trade on the CL. And, we're down roughly $1,700 on it. And, the problem with me streaming is that I'm aggressively, I'd say 30% of my trades are aggressive against fades. And the rule is 80-20. I probably fade 40% of the time, if not more, sometimes. That is bad precedent to set for highlighting the system. Because while I can successfully trade that, it's not what I would recommend to members. It's not what I would recommend to a new trader. It's not what I would recommend to my nephew, for instance. I don't want him to adopt the bad habits that I've adopted. All right, so we see the NQ actually has found buyers here, but I still think it's going to that next level. So we'll get out here on these trailing stops, and then what we'll do is we'll re-enter up here. So we'll probably re-enter up here.
Order filled.
Call the bluff that it's actually not going to actually find buy support, and then we'll sell all the way up to this, where the system tells us to sell up to. Kind of mad that we're kind of stuck between this P&L here of 5,900. But so hopefully that makes sense. And what I'm working on is actually just the best thing I could do for the system is to trade the system as it was designed, and don't fight the system. Because it's not me. That's what I want you guys to understand. It's not me. It's the system. Now, it's like anything else. Like, I could give you a supercar, and then you've seen plenty of videos probably of supercars of people that don't know how to drive a supercar, and then they try to go fast around a corner, and they just lose control. What is one car that's known for that actually, until you drive it, you don't know it? Can't think. It's a heavy car. I can't think of the name of the car. It'll come to me. There's a heavy car that's just known for, you're just, like, if you don't know how to drive, you're going to lose control of that car. And it's kind of the same way with trading. I mean, you could have a lot of fun in a supercar on the track in a safe environment. That's how I want most people to kind of trade until you have a lot of track time. Once you have a lot of track time, then, hey, let's get out there. Let's go. I mean, you still shouldn't be doing it out, obviously, in roads where you're endangering other people. So that's a douche move there as well. So obviously, if you're driving your supercar and you're like putting other people at risk, that's a complete douche move as well, because you have no right to put other people at risk, just because you have a supercar. So that's wrong. But like, if you're able to safely drive your car at the extremes, well, you've got a car that can do it. All right, I'm going to put in trailing stops now, just because I don't want to get. We'll start over up above if we get knocked out, because right now it's just it's not reliably selling off. See that? Got an opportunity. Well, we did get knocked out. Got an opportunity on that CL trade to possibly get out at a decent clip right at a momentum check. So now we really just have another level here. That's all we have. So I need to either take a loss on this thing, or this level check's going to hold. That's really it. NQ seems like it's going to continue to sell off, but it's not committing to the sell-off. So smack the square, the square pant. Is the Rockwell session going to be a regular session? I'd like it to be. So I'd like, it's all up to whether or not other members step up. So that's really.
Order filled.
it's not up to me at this point. I've thrown it out there as kind of something we're doing. Also, there's tremendous value from a trader's perspective because it's not like you're just doing the Rockwell trading session. You're getting, feedback. And then I will do, yeah, I think you're right there, nephew. Lead on that. I did an after action report of basically, this is here, of just my feedback and like what to do. So I've shared it before. I want to short this NQ move, but I'm a little skittish that basically it's not going to sell off, but we need to do a participation trade.
Order filled.
And then we need to plan to scale in here and here. Call the bluff on the move up. We need to check the time. It's right around 10:45. Okay. We got 15 minutes in this hour candle. Yeah, so what I need to focus on more is not trading against the system and trading with the system. And that's why I'm working on basically telling you, hey, here's a trade that's completely not discretionary. Yeah, which is outside of not outside of the system. It's a fade trade, an aggressive fade. So I'm just focused on, okay, so members know when I'm executing
order
a trade.
filled.
Like here's the mode. Here's what's happening. I don't see anything that. So we're up about 450 on the actual GC trade. And I think that one we're just going to put in trailing stops up here. We'll see if we get taken out. It's kind of in this mixed mode where it's basically, it has another momentum check it could do on the upside. But then it's deciding right now on chart 2 doesn't want to hold momentum and bias. So at this point in time, there's no reason to take a loss on that. We're in one NQ. We're in two NQ lots on a short. And then we're in 7 lots on the actual CL trade. We're down about $1,300 on that. So that actually might not work in our favor. We might have to take a loss on that thing here. We'll see. And this NQ is just playing around. And maybe it's waiting for something. Maybe there's something out there that's happening in the market that we don't know about. I know there's earnings and stuff today, but there wasn't a lot of NQ earnings, I don't think. There's more New York, NY, NYSE. Guess if you want to use the fancy term. Looks like we might be knocked out of that gold trade there. Obviously not maximizing the profit on that thing. Because we were up to 450, now we're going to be down to like 90. Well,
order filled.
Got it out of the
Stop
NQ.
filled.
Stopped out of the GC trade. Little bastard. NQ, we're going to wait for a higher level. Up there. Once again, we're trading what the market gives us. I'm not going to be, there's no reason to overtrade. Like, you could be overtrading in these ranges and be doing very bad. I feel like I'm doing okay. I'm not too happy about the P&L at 6,200. But as far as like not really overtrading, I think we're doing an okay job there. There's been 3 trades here that I've had to kind of sit on a little bit longer because They didn't react, but all of those were fades. So it's like, okay, like, did it really not behave the way I expected? No, it behaved exactly how I expected because they're fade trades. So fade trades naturally, because you're fading momentum and bias, naturally fade trades are going to go they're not going to behave how you expect, because a fade trade, an early fade trade is, you're not guessing, you're trading in reaction zones, but you could be wrong about the reaction zone. The reaction zone could be a little bit higher or lower or higher than what you expect. You still have a reaction at the zone. Like we had a reaction on that level on CL, but the reaction failed. Now, I planned to scale into the next level like I did.
Order filled.
So that's the other thing about it, is like I didn't, my plan ahead of time wasn't, it's going against me. Like, I don't know what to do. What do we do? And I'm not running around like with my head chopped off. Like, no, I kind of, I'm fading. I outlined my 2 levels and I looked at it and said, okay, yeah, I could scale in down to that next level. And then, now we're seeing, now is the market going to give me an opportunity to get out at a decent clip, or am I going to get hurt on this trade more than I want to be? Meaning that, are we going to get an opportunity to take a decent loss? Or, yeah, are we going to get an opportunity to break even or make a little bit of money? Or am I going to have to take a loss on this trade? And it looks like right now, at this point in time, like it's going to give us an opportunity at least once here to get out at break even, or maybe a little bit of profit. So now it's just a matter of, okay, we're in profit now on that CL trade. Now let's take a little bit of risk and let's trail some stops. Meaning, I'm okay now at this point in time. We're in profit. No, ordinarily I probably would have just got out because the market gave me a chance to get out. But we got an RDA check above, so we'll give it an opportunity to do that. I'll probably regret it here. Yeah, let's just do that.
Order filled.
All right. I got out. Just because market gave me a chance to get out, I can always start over. We're starting to get a little confirmation, but I don't have enough confirmation that I want to start over on. We're short on the NQ on 2 lots there. The problem is that it looks like it wants to continue to go up. So obviously there's still buy side activity. Now it's just a matter of, do we want to scale in all the way up to this level? The right trade on this actually is to probably scale in up to that momentum check, up to 115, 119. So got knocked out of the GC trade on one lot, and then it sold off like right at that level. So we're a little too aggressive on our stop on that thing. Lost about $100 on that CL trade, which is not bad. We were at one point in time, what were we down? We were down about $1,500 on that thing. Thanks, man. Thanks, Mac, the square pan. I can't say your name without laughing, so I apologize. But no, I'm glad you got value out of it. If you're new here, you want to join Discord down below on both TradingView or wherever you're watching. There's a link that says join my Discord or join Discord. Over 200 videos on YouTube. We'll be stepping up the content here as well. We're just getting organized, my nephew and I. That GC trade, if it works out and it continues to sell off, I'll probably wish that I added to it, because it might be going to the next level. But at the same time, if it goes to the next level, we'll be up $1,000 or so on that. So, but at this point in time, the charts are a little skittish, I guess you would say. The signals are still there. I mean, it's still if I were to grade today, well, today would still be a B. It might not feel like it, but look, this chart here, momentum and bias led the way. The system led the way. On the next chart, CL, I was fading the market like an idiot. But right here, multiple times, we got a bias check and a momentum check. We got another opportunity to go short again. I just was being an idiot and fading the market. But this chart is held up, at least at an A level. This chart, GC, it's held up. Momentum held, you got a momentum trade here. The fade trade, you got an opportunity to fade it with some confirmation right around 1999 on the 4-chart setup. And then if we look at NG, well, the problem with NG right now is that it's at a daily check. So it's checking momentum on the daily. So, the system's performed at like a B level, if not higher. Now, in real time, why was it hard? Because basically, you had to trade the system. You had to trust that the RDA wasn't going to break, even though you've seen it time and time again every day. You had to trust that the momentum, the short momentum and bias was going to hold, which it did. So, my trading of the system is that I faded 3 times today. So, I would ask you to if you're looking at the trading today, put it through that prism. Like, separate me from the system and realize that 3 trades that I did today were aggressive fade trades that I wouldn't want my nephew doing, or I wouldn't want a new trader doing, or I wouldn't want someone adopting the system unless they have their fade card. Meaning that fades, the rule is, this is the rule now, 80% of your trade should be momentum and bias, 20% should be fades. So I broke that rule today. And it still comes down to like, I need a challenge. It's like I get up and I need a challenge. But what I'll be doing in the afternoon session is that I'll be outlining the book, the mindset book. I'll be working on other things while I'm talking and doing stuff, because there's no reason for me to sit here and watch the chart. Now, I'll be looking at the CL trade now and be saying, once again, I didn't give the CL trade room, right? But, I started that CL trade rather early. Now, we are maybe we do have an actual opportunity on CL to go long again. So, and it's down to here. So I'm going to try to maybe get filled right here, and then I'll get filled down to here on CL. So those are the CL trades. So I know, I'm sure some of you members are saying, dude, it's a fade. Like, what did you just say? That's a strong level check, by the way. So what did I say on the Q&A, if you were on it? The only fade trades, any of y'all that don't have your fade card are able to do, that I will allow you to do. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I can't stop you. But if you're listening to me, the only fade trades that you are allowed to do is chart 4 strong level checks. Those are the highest probability trades that exist as far as a fade trade. That is the only fade trade you're do. And if you're not good at fade trades, you can do that fade trade, but the only way you can execute that fade trade is that you execute the fade trade after confirmation of chart 2. We went through that in the Q&A. We went through how to get confirmation. It's in the pattern library. In the pattern library is exactly how to execute that trade, precisely how to execute that trade. There should be no questions how to execute that trade. It's in the pattern library on all 4 charts. It's explained in detail with images, multiple examples, how to wait for confirmation. So the only fade trade you're allowed to do is a chart 4 strong level check. And if you're not accustomed at doing fade trades, then the only addition to that is that you can do that check. You can do that trade. I'm going to get out of this NQ trade. You can do that trade.
Order filled.
But you have to wait for confirmation. You don't get confirmation, you don't take the trade. Plain and simple. Yeah, are you going to miss the best entry for that trade? Absolutely. Are you missing, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10? Once you get confirmation, will you wish that you actually entered where the system predicted? Absolutely. But until you get good at fade trades and managing your trades, until you master momentum, that's the only fade trade you can do. And the reason why is because it's such a high probability trade. Like, I don't want you to miss out on high probability trades. So that's the only high probability fade trade that you are allowed to do if you don't have your full fade card. And I will be making fade cards. I think we'll be making fade sippy cups. We do need to have merch. So Nephew Elite, if you're around, let's like create some like just fun merch. Look at that NQ, man, pissing me off. Like, it's sold off at like, I didn't wait for it to close above the actual RDA on chart 4. Damn it, Jim. Right at the hour too. See that? If I would have just waited another minute and said, hey, let me see what the hour gives me. Pisses me off. It's me trying to be smarter than the system. Still might get an opportunity here. So we're going to sell.
Order filled.
And then we're going to scale in. So we're doing a participation trade. Still watching that level down to 0.60. So I'm just mad that I got out of that trade. Didn't check the time. If I would have checked the time, I said, you know what? I'll call the bluff on whether or not it's going to close above the RDA. So GC stalling. CL, we're waiting for a level check, strong level check. We're in 1 NQ short. Should have stayed in that short. We'll look to get maybe in on a momentum check here. So the way to trade this is that the only challenge is that it's hit a level there at the 5 minute. So it might hold that level. So you don't want to chase the trade.
Order filled.
Your best is to have a good basis at your entries. Basically where we're at, and then expect a failure at the RDA. Might not get it though. This might be the time where it actually holds up. So that's the only challenge here with this trade at this point in time is that. But this is the trade on the table. This is the trade that the system tells you to do. The system tells you to short here. So it's just that range here, if we look at chart 4, it's just in some ways, unless you're trading the extreme. So we started this position early. I'll share this in general. We started this position early. The best is either miss the trade or wait to get picked up a little bit higher. That's the best trade on this trade. It's almost up to this level. That's almost the best way to trade this based on the way it's unfolding. These little bastard buyers. Yeah, no, thanks for, Smack, thanks for watching the Rockwell trading. I had a good time with it. So, I hope that other members step up and want to do it. It's hard, though. It's not easy. So I'll just share it's not easy. Like, streaming and putting yourself out there for the world and doing this, it's not easy. And it changes your trading. Changes how you wouldn't think it does, but, it changes how you trade. And, even though you try to ignore it and you try to just focus on trading, there's still an element that when you're streaming, it affects your trading. So P&L wise, I'm a little upset that we haven't increased it, but we're trading what trades exist in the system with the limitation of what I've done is actually done a few fade trades I probably shouldn't have done. Yeah, let's look at ETH USD. Absolutely. Where are we at? So we'll look at ETH USD. All right, the daily is starting to print maybe an RSI signal. Wow, I saw it for a second. Where'd it go? That's a concerning thing, because that would be a 1, 2, 3, might signal a sell-off. Now we are approaching some key anchored VWAPs. So we've got the anchored VWAP at 2100, and then we've got another significant high at 2230. So, if it holds those, we're all good. As far as it holds those, it comes back and rechecks it, then I'd say the next level is 2700. But it's got to overcome that. Now, if we look at the 60-minute, by the way, you guys are seeing an early view of what might be the 4-chart setup using Renko bars. So one of the annoying things about TradingView is that they haven't added tick charts, because they don't care about real traders. They just care about releasing tarot cards and stupid Rolex watches. So, like, if they cared about real traders, they'd add tick charts. So, I know I'm probably going to get banned from this platform one of these days. But, so, what we want to do, what I'm going to create, what you're going to have in your hands, is you're going to have a 4-chart setup that's based on what's available at TradingView. Since they don't have tick charts and they're too lazy to add them, we will figure out a 4-chart setup. Remember, the power of the 4-chart setup is that 2 of the charts take time out as a factor. So I will work within their stupid system to come up with a 4-chart layout that gives us just as much of an edge as when we have tick charts. So, they're forcing me to do it, but I'll do it. I'll figure out, based on the available non-time charts, which ones work for our system, and then we'll create rules around it using a 4-chart setup and just TradingView, because they refuse to add tick charts. It's been years, been asking them every week for years. I know others have as well. Whatever. So we will have a 4-chart setup. I'm hoping by the end of this month, I'll have the ground, or the foundation of a highly reliable 4-chart setup that takes time out as a factor on 2 of our charts. Within the means, I don't like Renko bars for a couple different reasons, but we might be able to figure out how to modify it that it gives us the same edge. But I'm testing Renko bars, as you can see here. These are Renko bars here, and I'm using it actively in charting. I was going to document more of this, but the problem is if I document more of this, it's going to take longer. So, I'll document key elements of it, but, I'm not going to document every element because it just would take longer for me to actually get it out. So that's where I see on ETH. I would say on a standard support and resistance, right around 1978 is the other area. If we go to the 4-day, which is basically the super chart that you want to trade, the 4-day is telling us that, we're expecting that stall. It's telling us the same type of thing, right around 1956. And then you've got all your momentum indicators down here. So to me, there's no damage done if it comes down to 1956. If it comes down to, even down to 1891, and then it maintains this alpha, there's no real damage done. So, from a long-term perspective of whether or not it's going to go to that 2700 at least, that's the way I look at it right now. That's what the system tells us. I mean, we've recaptured the RDA, we recaptured momentum on ETH on the 4-day. So, that's where that sits. Bitcoin's probably the same type of thing. Bitcoin's the same type of thing. I think on Bitcoin, we're starting to get an initial early RSI signal. Yeah, we are. So this is for today. It hasn't printed yet. So it doesn't reprint, or it doesn't repaint, meaning that once it paints, it's there, but you have to wait for the close. Okay, well, if this closes this RSI signal, we should be a little concerned on the downside for a bigger sell-off, just because what do we have? Well, this is a members indicator. So this is the RD RSI. It's also an oscillator as well. So you can, You can add the oscillator or you just do the signals on chart. So what do we look for with this indicator for those that, trade this or, understand the system? Where's my arrow? We have a red triangle, we have a green triangle, and then we have a red triangle. So the last signal on a 3 triangle pattern is always the signal that we watch. So for instance, this was green, red, green, it ripped up. Red, green, red. Okay, we expect a continuation. But one of the great things about this indicator is it tells you which candle to watch. Meaning if it fires on this candle, that's our alpha candle. And then we apply our alpha rules to it. So we have rules in our system that tells us when an alpha candle presents itself, how we recognize whether or not that alpha candle is valid. How we recognize price action around that alpha candle. So if this prints today, you'll be seeing my update that says, okay, we got an alpha, we got an RSI signal. Okay, this is an alpha. Let's watch that alpha and let's see what happens with price on a lower time frame within that alpha. And then we'll have various rules that we follow that tell us, okay, there's a high likelihood that that alpha is going to continue down and do a momentum check down to here, 28,747 or 26,823. Same thing can be done on ETH. We can do the same thing, but the ETH isn't fire. Well, it's doing the initial signal, I think. Oh, no, it's not. That signal is it's below the weekly open. So it's not firing the initial signal. The last 3 pattern was down here. So we're still looking for, like that triangle is for the weekly open triangle. So that's not a valid, or it's not the signal for the RSI. If we look at, I can look at other things before we call it a lunch session, and then I'll be back in the afternoon. Nephew Elite, how are you doing today? Are you trading? I'm sure you're trading. That was dumb now following the system. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trading.
All right, sweet.
This is just bad. I don't know. I saw it was going short.
Well, no.
And
Yeah, it
instead
is.
I just faded it
Oh,
because I wanted it to go long.
yeah.
But yeah, so now I'm focused up. Got my coffee. Life's good.
That's good. Yeah, so I think we're down to the next level, but it's in this weird range, but
Yeah,
once
it's
again, trading the extremes is key, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put trailing stops in this thing. I'm not going to let it go against me too much. I'm in 2 lots just there. No, I'm only in 1. No, I'm in 2. I'm in 2 lots there. Like there really hasn't been, other than once or twice, there hasn't been major opportunities to go heavy on things. Just because the signals have been, it's following the system well. It's one of those days where it's following the system in a very kind of like lava-like fashion, it's just a slow fashion. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, the past hour or so, it's just been stuck in this up and down. There's no, it's just still holding this short bias.
Yeah. I mean,
Stuck in
directionally,
this
it's
range.
still, bias short and momentum short, but you should be trading that how you should be trading it, which is basically your entries are clearly defined, right? I mean,
Yeah.
And then it's just, okay, sitting on the trade to see if it works out, which is basically what I've been doing the last 15, 20 minutes. So
Yeah, I've been just catching these pullbacks to test the RDA.
yeah.
You can see it. Isn't it crazy? See how these just come back, test, goes down, test, come down. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Stop filled.
I'm out. So I did take a loss on the trade. But, which I'll probably call it here for the, oh wait, why am I still in one NQ trade? Oh, because I didn't get stopped out yet. Yeah, so I'll probably call it an afternoon. I mean, that's another, I probably should have put that above the RDA check instead of like getting taken out. But I'll be back in the afternoon, I think. No, I don't think I'm planning to. There's no reason why I shouldn't be. We'll do a P&L check here real quick just to see where we're at. P&L wise, I'm kind of frustrated that we're kind of been stuck at 6,000 around that range. But, you take what the market gives you. Open is roughly, what do we have? We're 350 on GC, and then at least 200 probably on NQ. So that's what, 500. I'll just say 500. But it's kind of frustrating to be stuck in the same P&L range for so long. All right, so here, if you haven't joined Discord, you want to join Discord down below. If you want to trade the best trade system on the planet, two things you can do. You can join Discord, send me a DM, or you can visit the website and then learn about the system in full. You'll have to read. So there's some videos there, but you have to read. And then if you're ready to get started, you'll see a link on the site that says get started now, or join Discord, send a DM. You just can't join. I want to talk to everybody before they join just to make sure it's a fit. Make sure you're also a fit for the community too. So you just can't buy the training outright. You have to at least talk to me once. At least once. But nothing too harsh. It's just more just want to get a perspective on where your experience is at. Also, just to make sure that, you know, you're going to be a fit for the community that we built here. Anything else you want to add before I jump off here, Tony?
No.
Okay.
Just I don't have anything to say, but
Have you tested streaming at all?
yeah, I tested on YouTube. You know, worked on there.
Okay.
I haven't tested on TradingView. I actually don't even know how to get to people's streams with TradingView. I'm still trying.
I'll share how you do that, and then I'll also share the tool that you can test to later.
And I looked at restreaming earlier.
Yeah, so that would be kind of where you'd want to test it, because then you can stream to everywhere. So we'll see, maybe you can do a stream this week sometime if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'm down.
So we'll figure that out. So it looks like it's going to sell off the NQ now. So, but once again, it's not doing the aggressive sell off. It's finding buyers at every level. It might be stop losses. Who knows what it's doing, you know, but it's finding buy support at every level. So however that's happening, stop losses or people buying, it doesn't really matter. The system's giving us the edge that we want anyways. We look at the internals before we go. So I didn't look at much of this. You know, it's an interesting day because basically it's kind of selling off, but it's above the zero line. So what that really means when you look at this type of day and the price action is overall the weighted growth stocks in the Nasdaq are probably selling off, which we're seeing that. But there's other asset classes within the Nasdaq that are being bought. So when you see a day like today, that's kind of like what's happening on the underlying. Remember, the NQ is a derivative. The NDX is a derivative. It's a derivative of the underlying stocks. So like if you use the internals, when you see a day like this where it's above the zero line, and it's consistently held momentum above the zero line, but then the price action, if we look at this, the price action has been negative, which typically doesn't happen on above the zero line type of behavior. Well, this is where I will tell you what's happening, because we distinctly know. If I don't know what's happening, I don't make up stuff. I don't make up fancy terms like liquidity zones or, dumb terms like that. I don't make up terms that I have no idea whether or not they're true, because I have never worked in that capacity, so I'd have no idea to know. But I know this because I've done the analysis and I've done the research and I've traded this long enough. When you see something above the zero line, at least on the up volume advancing declining combination there, and then you see a sell-off, and especially if the sell-off is centered around what are technology growth stocks, what typically is happening is there are industries, one or two industries within the NQ that are being bought, or that are contrary to the weighted move. So, and I know I'm speaking high level, but this is for, I like to speak on both levels. I don't assume that even if you're a new trader that you can't comprehend what I'm saying. Like, so I know sometimes I get on these high level discussions, but I don't
Stop
assume that
filled.
you can't follow it. And you might not understand everything, but I think you're gonna get the gist of it, at least to get some kind of additional knowledge. So when I go off and when I share these things, yeah, it's high level, or it's more advanced, but I don't feel that I have to dumb it down, I guess, so to say. So that's what you're kind of seeing when you see like this. So like if we would have been, I mean, I have this chart up where I can see it separate from showing it to you. So I was already seeing this. I just didn't mention it before. So, but I'm mentioning it so you get full context, because if you're using this chart, because it does have a predictive nature, predictive value of where the NQ is going to go. The other thing that you're going to notice is that big tech is starting to align, or starting to get into the zone of the 10-day rolling VWAPs here. So these little purple line, or these little teal lines you see here, these are 10-day rolling VWAPs. So this is the 10-day, 9, 8, 4, whatever. So these are reaction zones, meaning that it acts as the VWAP typically acts. When it's tested, you're going to have a reaction. Well, you know, it's coming down. It's coming from this high, and it's coming down, and it's testing all of the 10-day rolling VWAPs. So what would we expect? Well, we would expect, if it does go through this, or it gets to this bottom one, that this is going to hold up based on the price action that we're seeing. So it's the first test of these zones, or actually it's not the first test. It's the first test of some of the lower ones, but on Friday there was an additional test. So we would expect at least this to hold up somewhat. We'd expect some decent reaction to the upside. It might ultimately fail, but that's what we would expect. So hopefully that ends with some value, or some at least more knowledge on why I use the internals. We'll be back. I'll be back here by probably 1:15. And then if I'm executing trades over the lunch session, which I typically do, I'll share it in Discord. So I'll be sharing levels or anything else in Discord. So you'll want to actually, if you haven't joined Discord, join Discord, follow along in Discord. We do have a Bravo level. So if you're interested, you know, the Bravo level is someone that maybe wants to kick the tires a little bit with the system. Yeah, I'll look at the 5-minute chart on BTC. I'll share that in Discord, Burn. So once I jump off the stream. All right, everybody. Look forward to seeing you here in then a little bit. Execute good trades. We'll see you. I'll stay in audio here for a second so we can talk about the